Check, check. Microphone. Check. 1, 2. Check, check. I think all that's saved. How's everybody doing? How's it going out there? Hup, yup, up, yup, hup. How's everybody doing out there today? Tonight? Last week? It's D-Dub here. Live, coming to you on this Thursday, super late evening. It's technically Friday morning at this point. And I'm kind of bummed because I bought a HDMI adapter for the Dreamcast, and it's not compatible with the Elgato. So that's kind of a bummer. A little bit bummed about that. I'm gonna have to find another solution now. But aside from all that, I'm just going to play some Breath of the Wild, I suppose. I'm still just randomly going around the world. It's pretty fun. Having a good time doing that. I've pretty much seen the entire map at this point, just about everything. There's a few spots I'm trying to fill in, but for the most part, you can see here on the map, I've hit most of the main stuff. I do have still some pretty big areas that I've passed over. I would say when it comes to Breath of the Wild, probably the biggest part that I haven't actually touched is probably most of these, the ice mountain. A little bit over here too. But for the most part, I think I've just about seen most that you can see in this game. I'm gonna go up and to the right here a little bit, check out what's going on over there. Probably nothing. But man, I can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2. Let's see, we got this picking up. Okay, that's what we don't want. There we go. That should be... So to anybody who's out there who may be happening to be watching, I say welcome. Hopefully everybody's has had a good night. Let's see, I gotta put this here. Should probably stick one of those things to that. Have these little sticky things that you stick to a desk, you stick to the wall, you run a wire through it. Help out big time, but for right now I just got wires going everywhere. Oh no. Take that. So, I was looking at the Kaiko adapter for the Dreamcast, and I went to buy it. And I was literally just slightly short of covering the shipping when I went to put my card in. And then I bought the Pound HDMI Dreamcast adapter. But I didn't realize that it didn't work with the Elgato. And that was pretty much the main reason I bought it, was to capture some footage, do some reviews, some retrospectives on some games, as well as live streaming Dreamcast, because you don't see that too much these days. And that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I still could do it, and I could do it in composite, but it doesn't look good. It looks absolutely terrible. So coming up here, I'm going to be going back to the Korok Forest and trying to do the, what is it, the Trial of the Sword. It's the DLC. I never
Rivali's Gale is
finished
now
it,
ready.
because every time I go to do it, you have to go through the levels while being stripped of all your gear, and you got to play Survivor Man. And I always get just so far, and then I die. I make a few mistakes, a few errors in judgment, and it ends up killing me. So I've not been able to actually finish the DLC for this game. That's kind of a shame, because for the most part I've seen everything the game has to offer. I still haven't got the motorcycle, which I think anybody who's played Breath of the Wild and actually put in a big fat handful of time, you kind of need to see that motorcycle. And that's one thing that I haven't done yet. And for how much time I've put in, I deserve to see that. I bought the DLC a long time ago. I did some of this stuff, but I didn't actually finish the trial and get the motorcycle. And that's something I gotta do before the second game comes out. Right now I'm at 200 hours in this game, and to still not have done that, it's kind of been bugging me. I started playing it again probably a week or two ago, and I did a little bit of running around. I tried that trial a couple times, and I had the same thing happen. One of the times I got pretty far, and then I just wasn't moving around fast enough, and something shot an arrow directly at my face, and it killed me. I was not happy. Let's see, what's this puzzle looking like? Alright, this has to go... where are we putting it? Just putting it right here. No. I guess maybe I gotta put it back on that side. I'm not totally superly sure. Most of these puzzles are self-explanatory. The later ones do get a little bit more to where you have to kind of look at them a little bit better. But I'm trying to see what the difference is here. See, I think this one is spun the opposite way. I'm not totally sure though. Seeing the difference here. What's going on, man? Usually these puzzles aren't that hard, but you know, I've been at this for about a minute and a half, 2 full minutes, and I'm just not seeing it. I think it goes right here. There we go. Took a minute, but see, that one was totally symmetrical where you're completely matching it to the other one, but I've done a lot of those. I probably want to say I've done at least, I mean, I don't know how many of those are in the game, but I've probably done like 50 or 60 different ones, and they're always on some mountain up off to the side, hidden away. And some of them just aren't even symmetrical. They're just sort of random. So sometimes they're a little bit tricky, but how you doing? What's new? How's things going in your neck of the woods, so to speak? Hopefully things are good and people aren't freaking out, but man, things are about to kind of go down. There's going to be like a shift happening. And hopefully it's not that big of a deal, but man, people are making a big deal out of what's going on right now. Some say it's all BS. Some say it's all just fear-mongering. See, I don't think I'm going to fight him. Man, I can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2. Yeah, I bought the DLC at least a year ago, and I never finished it, and I feel like for the amount of time that I've put into this game, I have to do it. I need to get the motorcycle. Even though I don't really utilize, like, horse riding and stuff like that in this game, the motorcycle was one thing when I saw initially. I was like, man, that's absurd. But I also want that thing just to drive it around, just to see what it feels like. Let's see what's going on over here. I see one of these guys. Oh, I thought it was one of the flowers. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen the bats ever hanging from anything. Let's see if I can take a picture. One other thing I gotta do is fill out the rest of the compendium. And for as much running around as I've done, I never filled up all of the memories either. I have most of them. I'm missing like 3 or 4. Oh, how is this game on Wii U? I almost bought it at one point just to mess around with it, just to see. I've watched reviews, and it pretty much seems about the same. I actually looked it up the other day because I didn't know if it was different for the Wii U, but I wanted to see if the Korok Forest had the same issue as it does on the Wii U with the frame stuttering. And it does. Yeah, it seems about the same. Although, I guess you could play it on the tablet, right? That's one thing I don't know. Does it show up on the tablet, or is it like the inventory screen? Let's see, I guess I'll go to the Champions Gate and see what's going on over here. So I know a lot of people, they kind of waited to get a Switch at first. What are you still doing up? You need to go to bed.
I just want to say goodnight.
Okay.
I just saw this live right now.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I saw what you were doing.
Yeah. I thought you were Max for a second.
Really?
For a second, yeah. But you gotta go back to sleep. You gotta get yourself to bed. So give me a hug
Okay.
and get some sleep. Okay. Kind of scared me for a half a second there. My kid just comes walking in. I thought he was asleep. I walked into the room like a half hour ago, and I thought he was asleep. And of course his school got shut down for tomorrow while they comply with the local authority in like disinfecting the school, even though they had supposedly done that over the past weekend. So now I guess they're doing it again. Yeah, so I guess the nature of the portable Breath of the Wild experience was about the same on the Wii U. Not quite the same, but I know there's a lot of people that waited to get the Switch because they wanted to see how it played out. But man, I can't wait for the next game. It's gonna be good. I don't think people have any idea exactly how good it's really gonna be. Yeah, Zelda, what are you still doing awake, little guy? Yeah, I don't think people know exactly how good Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna be. And I think people think it's really just gonna be more of the same, and that the map is gonna be completely the same. But I don't think it's gonna be that way. Basically, based on the trailer, with the whole castle coming up out of the ground, it's either you're going under the ground or you're pretty much going under the ground, as well as maybe it's going to be in the future, right after this game takes place, and Ganon shows back up to create more hell. 100 years in the past, before the start of this game, when all was well, and we might see a fully realized Hyrule, which I think would be pretty awesome, a prequel, sequel game where maybe even there's like a time warp and you get to see some of both of it. Beginning of the game, the Guardians are ruthless. You can't even get near them. The second you do, they shoot you and you just blow up in one hit. I can't even tell you. I wish there was like a counter that told you how many times you died from the hands of the Guardian before you were powerful enough to actually face him. I probably died at least 50, maybe 100 times, because you'd be trying to traverse, you wouldn't have a lot of stamina. A lot of places you run into them, there's not really any good spots to hide. So, like, I died from them a lot of times. Oh, I think Ganon would pretty much be the main enemy no matter what. But Ganon can just show up whenever he wants. So if it's a true sequel after this game, the game ends and there's peace in Hyrule. Maybe it could be in the future. where they've restored everything, and then Ganon just shows back up because that's what he does. He's kind of great like that he can just show up in any type of form that he chooses. And then if it's a prequel, and it's like, say, 110 years before this game, before they actually put Link to sleep in the his little coffin there, then you would basically be seeing the same thing, a fully realized Hyrule before it all went to hell. And that'd probably be pretty cool, because you'd be seeing stuff like down here, you'd be seeing full towns. Like, I think that would be cool, having a bunch of the same towns, but a bunch of other different towns that had just gotten wiped out. Seeing some different, maybe people or races. I mean, the game is going to be monstrously huge, and it's going to be a huge seller. Yeah, but it could be a sequel and a prequel at the same time. I don't know if they really actually confirmed, like, hey, the storyline is a full sequel. It just kind of sounded like Breath of the Wild 2 is being made, and everybody said it's going to be the sequel to it because they called it Breath of the Wild 2, but just because they said Breath of the Wild 2 was in development doesn't actually mean that it'll be called Breath of the Wild 2. Doesn't even mean that Breath of the Wild will even be in the title, even though it could be based in the same exact world. Who knows? It could be way after the end of this game. They could say it's another 100 years after the game, and that Princess Zelda went back to her studies and all that, and some new guardians, like the Guardians, they kind of disappeared, they retreated, and then Ganon re-summoned himself and worked with the Guardians and made basically a new version of the Guardians that are going to be even more crazy and powerful. And they could say it's 20 years after the end of this game, or that it's... I mean, a lot of times they're living in. They just reference other things to be in. Like Link being asleep for 100 years, but you don't know what year it is in the Zelda world. They just say he's been asleep for 100 years. They could also just say nothing, and it could basically be a full sequel where they just don't ever say how long it's been, but all the civilization and everybody that was affected the first time finally worked to get all their stuff back together and got all their cities and technology back. But I can only imagine the kinds of things that they're going to do with the game. It should be probably better than this game, although I think it'll suffer from the more of the same syndrome, where even though no matter how great it is, in 10, 20 years, it'll still be probably regarded as just as good, but not as nostalgic, not as hard-hitting. Because when this game came out, there was just nothing like it, and there's still nothing like it. And even a Breath of the Wild 2 will still not really be, even as similar as it will be, it won't be just like this, even though people will be totally pumped for it. I think it'll come out, and then in years' time, people will just say it was more of the same, and it was still great, but boy, when the first one came out, we were really like, wow. Yeah, the way I saw it was that it's not going to be the same map. Everything might be in the same spot, but that doesn't mean that, like, you could be going on some crazy quests. It could be more quest-based. Like, this game really isn't too quest-based. It's not very linear. You can just kind of go and find these missions and then take them on whenever you really feel like it. You could do all the side quests before ever even touching the main story. So, like, the Rito and all the other races, they could they could have moved kind of across the world and left their village behind. If it's 20 years in the future, maybe you go on a quest to get, like, say you go back to the like the Rito, and you're going back there to get like a weapon. You might see like the old ruins of their old civilization that when Ganon resurfaced, they all kind of uprooted to get closer to the action. I mean, who knows? I'm guessing it's just gonna have to do more with Ganon and basically a new Guardian race, and more like technology driven, with the princess going back to like her studies and all that. That would probably be my guess. But really, there's no way to know until the game actually comes out. But either way, it's gonna be more like this. But it's gonna be great. Like, I'm hoping they add more side things to do. Like, hopefully you can kind of have your own village. I mean, in this game, you worked to rebuild the what's it called? That village there with the wedding. You work to get that back up, but you don't really see it in progress. It just kind of goes by, and people started moving in. Then you have the wedding and all that. Yeah, Terrytown, that's what it is. It's been a while since I thought about that. But maybe you could actually have your own town. Not really like Animal Crossing, but like sort of maybe like Animal Crossing, and maybe you can plant and like have your own garden and have more kind of stuff to do with cooking that has to do with like certain powers you might get, where you could still kind of avoid it if you want to, but you don't necessarily have to do it.
Hey!
Ooh.
Oh.
Here, I'll sell you some stuff and make some money off of you. So other than the DLC, I mean, I've done most of the stuff that there is to do in this game.
Oh.
Like, I've got just about all the armor. I don't have all of it though. I actually found the saddle of the dead, or whatever they call it, for the horse. I actually found that the other day. I forget where. It was kind of hidden. Because now I'm just trying to go through and finish up the rest of the map. Try to see pretty much everything that there is to see.
Yay!
And in the process of just doing that, playing like, I don't know, I maybe played like 2 hours yesterday, maybe like an hour or two the day before, another few hours the day before that. So I probably put like another 5, 6, 7 hours into this over the past few days, and I found, I don't know, like 37 Korok seeds, just kind of running around, seeing what was around, going around and just going around, saying around a lot. Yeah, I hope that they do focus a little bit more on technology, get like the hook shot coming back. Yeah, the hook shot come back, even if it's only available in certain dungeons. That would be cool. Here, I'll give you the big one. There you go. He's happy now. I want to pet him. Like, I would hope that the new one has a bit more story. Just maybe a bit more. Maybe a bit more dialogue. Because some of the other games had more dialogue, some of the other ones had less dialogue.
Hey!
This game has quite a bit of action to it, but I would love to see it just bring in more RPG elements. Like maybe more to leveling up, maybe... Like in this, sure, you do like the shrines to get the, like the orbs, or spirit orbs to level up. But maybe there's, instead of doing that, because that kind of, it doesn't really get old. After you do it enough, you're just like, oh, okay, and you go to the shrines that are just like the offering ones, so you don't even have to do anything to get powered up, and eventually it just becomes so easy. Like maybe there's more of an RPG element to kind of make it a little more rewarding, where maybe you just have to do a little bit more of something to get better gear, or to have your bombs be stronger. Like maybe there's levels to leveling up your bombs, because those, I mean, you get pretty much from the get-go, and they don't get any stronger. Their usefulness is always about the same, but there's no progression to that. You just end up getting the magnesis and the stasis, and I feel like for me that was so long ago that it's like it's not still something that I really even think about, because it was just so early in the beginning of the game. Yeah, upgrading and fixing weapons. That would be cool. I have zero problem with this game in the breaking weapons thing. A lot of people, they said it would have been my favorite game of all time, but the breaking weapons thing just kind of makes it take a back seat. It's like, I love the breaking of weapons, but then again, from the beginning of the game, I think a lot of the people that say that, they didn't really put a lot of time into it. There's a lot of people that say this game is great, and that they played it, but they don't really say that they beat it. They'll say that they played it for a bit and then kind of gave up. Like, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and comments on YouTube and like Facebook posts, especially being part of like different Breath of the Wild or Zelda groups or Nintendo Switch groups, and when it comes to the best of the Nintendo Switch, this game always comes up as pretty much number 1 or 2. It's always in the top 2 though. It's always Mario Odyssey in this game, along with a few others. But there's plenty of people that didn't really spend a super amount of time the way that a lot of people did. And the breaking weapons thing was never an issue to me. Especially from the get-go, where you could explore anything you want. I mean, when Skyrim came out, that's pretty much all I did was explored and just leveled up and found weapons and found different things. And that was probably like my favorite part of that game. And then when this came out, it was kind of the same thing, where I just forged my own path. I did a few things that you actually had to do, got some of my powers. Yeah, okay, so I got that shrine. What do you mean? Yeah, okay. I see what you mean. See, and that was so long ago that it's like a thing that I almost forgot about, because it's just, they're unlimited and they're useful. That's for sure. Let's see, I guess I'll get out of here. Yeah, the ancient bridle. I guess I don't have any spirit orbs. The shrines are one of the last thing that I kind of have to complete. Like, I'm gonna go through and finish the rest of them so I can finish getting the rest of my health up. I think I got like 4 or 5 hearts more left to fill. But yeah, it'd be cool if the stasis and like the magnets and whatever other new abilities they're gonna add, because they probably will do that. Maybe they might even take some of them out that you had in this game, but I'd like to see some more stuff with kind of the way when it first came out and people started using the stasis to make like flying machines. Like, it'd be cool if they kind of added something to do with that. Or just added abilities that do something with that to where they kind of make you do it in the game. Maybe you can actually build a flying machine that's like legit out of like pieces you find. I think something like that would be pretty cool. No, I'm probably not going to find all the Koroks. I don't know exactly how you find out how many you've got so far. It doesn't really tell you. Like, it just seems like you need to just find them all. And eventually, one of the times, they'll just tell you that, hey, here's that magic piece of poop that they give you. I mean, I would just find as many Koroks as it takes to finish filling out the rest of my inventory, because, let's see, I have, I guess, 2 more to go for the weapons. 1 more to go for the shields. Yeah, and then the other one maxed out. So I guess we'll go for the shield stash. So I guess I need probably at least 90 or 100 more to finish just the sword stash. Yeah, I feel like I found a lot of them. So if I've only found like half, I need 45 more to do that. So maybe I only need 45 more to finish out. Yeah, the arrow stash, the bow stash I just maxed out, so I just need 1 more. See, I thought for the weapons, the bows and the shields, I thought they were all the same and they filled out to the rest, but apparently they don't all do that. So I guess I just need 45 more to finish the sword stash, or do I have 2 more slots to go? Not exactly sure, but I need to go find 40 more Koroks just to do it at least once more. It's really crazy that just all these Korok people, right? That's what they're called. Just them all being here makes the frame rate just plummet. Alright. So, I guess we'll try this one more time. Trying to get myself comfy. Whoa, come on now. Wow. I've only had this game crash on me a couple times. I'm surprised that just happened. I guess I was standing in the wrong spot or something. Very strange. It's weird how games will just crash. So it's a good thing that I just saved right before I did that. I wanted to heal myself and save before jumping in. Because I kept trying it over and over. And I kept remembering to heal before I went in, and I would go in and have 5 or 6 hearts, or that last row there of hearts just missing. So hopefully this works this time. This stream was going to be a Dreamcast stream. I got my Pound HDMI adapter cable in, but it doesn't work with the Elgato, so it's pretty much useless for live streams, capturing. It's useless for that. It's only good for playing solo by yourself. So now I'm gonna have to try and get something else that'll work with it. There. See, I thought I did that the other day and overfilled my health, and I thought that when I went in here, it just took them away. But I might be wrong. I thought I tried that though, because I wanted to have as much possible health as possible. I thought that it didn't work. But I might be wrong. Hopefully I am. And if that's the case, I'll try it next time. Because the more health you have, the better. There's kind of a way to go about doing this whole trial, it seems, because you got to go through the first 5 or so floors or whatever, try not to get damaged. Then you get to that fire where you can finally cook all the stuff that you have. But eating the raw food is kind of just a waste of the resources. You really want to wait till you get to a fire. And I think you only end up getting 1 or 2 bows, and they're really cheap bows, and you kind of need the bow on like the 4th or 5th floor. I guess you call these floors. And I haven't figured out the completely best way to go about doing this whole trial. I keep getting only so far. I swear, like the first time I tried it, second time I tried it, back like last year or whatever, I got pretty far without really trying, and then it seems the more times I try, the longer I take picking up resources and going through and try to cook my food. It just ends up seeming like a waste of time, and then I end up making a fatal mistake that ends up killing me. So I got everything from over there. Then there's the one floor that I keep forgetting about, and I keep forgetting to use the fire. See, maybe I'm wrong about the extra hearts. I thought that I did that and filled it up, and then when it dropped me in, I could swear that I didn't have the extra hearts that I so needed. Maybe you're right about that. I don't know why it would be different on Switch either, but I don't know. When's the last time that you decided to play this game? And what have you been playing recently? Because recently, for the past like week, I haven't really been playing much. I played this, and that's about it. My gaming time has gone totally down the tubes. I did play a bit of Dreamcast trying out that HDMI adapter. And then last week I did a N64 stream, and I was having issues with that. So at some point I'll have to get a HD adapter for the 64. And I had started playing a bunch of GameCube games that I never had or that I have gotten rid of. On the Wii, I bought a $5 Wii at the Goodwill store. The thing worked. I modded it, and I kept trying to... I had to buy like 2 different thumbsticks. I also had another thumbstick sitting around. So I modded it, I got the games on it, it was working. And then the games just stopped reading off of that thumbstick. I tried another thumbstick, I formatted it, put the games on it, it wouldn't work. I kept having issues. And I finally got it all working. And then I was playing... I was playing Super Smash Brothers for the GameCube on the modded Wii. And then it just went black, and the Wii stopped working completely. And I tried doing a like backup of the NAND and trying to restore the thing, but it's just a black screen, so there's nothing you can do with it. Plus the Wii didn't come with anything, so I had to go and get the power and the video for it. And then after the Wii died, I just ended up returning the power and the AV. And then I tried hacking the Wii, and really what I want to do, and people make it sound like it's really easy, but I've just had terrible success with it. Because I don't have a first party... Oh, that was stupid. I don't have a first-party Wii U Pro Controller, so once you launch Nintendo, it didn't want to work with that. The games would launch, but I had no controller for it. I couldn't figure out, and still can't figure out, how to get the gamepad to work with it, because I'm basically hacking the virtual Wii side of the Wii U, and I just kind of gave up. I was having terrible luck trying to just hack the Wii U side to have everything on that, because if you can manage to pull that off, then you can just use just the tablet and just play the games on that. Playing Block Quest Master? I don't even know what that is. Is that like maybe like a PC game or something? See, right, this was the floor with the chest, and every time I forget to use the fire arrow and get that down, and there's no other way to get it down without fire, and I forget every single time because those things pop out of nowhere, and I forget to use the fire to come and fly over here, so that's pretty much that. You can't get it. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that. See, then I do that, now I have less health. So that was just a total waste. Just because I want to get what's up there. And I think there's a decent bow up there, if I'm not mistaken, because otherwise the only bow you get are these cheap chintzy ones. And those things only have like 3, maybe 4 shots on them before they break. So I guess when it comes to the breaking weapons, the only problem I have with it is when it's like for this mission here. Because at that point, you kind of get screwed because you don't have a decent bow. Is it on Switch or is it on like Steam or PC? Oh. Oh, see? Not paying attention. And it sucks going back to the beginning every single time. And then you get kind of in a mode and you're concentrating and you're planning stuff out. And you're just being like meticulous and you're paying attention. And then just like one little slip up like that, where I should have just eaten the raw food, but I wasn't paying attention. And it just seems so easy, even without your weapons. You're like, I got this. And then all it takes is like one arrow shot to the face, or that. Turning around as I did that. And I was literally inches away from that not exploding in my face, but I was kind of caught up on the tree. There are no weapons for you. There. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean, it sounds decent. If there's good, if there's like good enemies and stuff, then that's pretty cool. I mean, is it just building, or is there maybe like a single player kind of element to it, and then that's like an online thing, or how does it work? It's obviously if you're just building dungeons and you have nothing to fight in them, it's kind of not so intriguing, at least to me. I'm not much of a builder, I guess. Especially in games, at least. Like Mario Maker 2, I made about one level. I think that's all I did. And that game has pretty much died way down. There's a few channels that are pretty much nothing but Mario Maker. And I think a lot of people thought that game was going to be bigger than it was, or like have more lasting power. But once it came out, people were just like, oh, that's right, I remember, it's Mario Maker now. The amount of levels is infinite, and it's still pretty cool, but I haven't played it in probably a month or two. It's something I mean to get back into, and then I just kind of forget. I think everybody bought the game though, so really it boils down to that. If at least everybody bought the game, then that's something, right? Oh. See, I didn't think I dropped it. I didn't see it behind me. I was trying to drop it on him and run away. Give me some of your arrows. Hello, Sparkle. I'm not exactly sure what the first symbol of your name actually is or what it means. But how's it going? How you doing? What's new? Haven't seen you in a while. It's been a little bit. I'm guessing you're more than likely in a different time zone. I think I asked you that before. But hopefully things are good for you. Hopefully you're playing something and having a good old time, or hopefully you're at least having a good old time just browsing the YouTube. It's kind of weird the way that the light kind of moves as that coming from to and from out of here. I don't think there's anything else I can get. Probably should have picked up some more of the arrows. I always notice that they shoot like infinite arrows at you, but you can only pick up 5. After that, they disappear. Oh, are you EST? Oh, well, so am I. So we're all up pretty late. It's technically Friday at this point. So happy Friday. Are you excited for Animal Crossing? How about, let me ask you that one. Come over this way. See, I finally didn't forget about that one. What about you, Zelda N64 fan? Are you excited for Animal Crossing? Because I am. I can't wait for it to come out. I just know that the good old C virus is showing up in my area. And if for some reason they force me into quarantine or something, I'm bringing my Switch. It's gotta happen. Can't lock me up when Animal Crossing comes out. It's not happening. Like, how much cheaper? Because that game is going to be just like Pokemon. It's not gonna be cheaper. Not for 3 years, 2 years at least. I mean, maybe they would do a discount, like, say if in a year everybody that wanted to play it already bought the Switch, already got the game, and for some reason it just, the sales of it just completely tank. But I don't see that happening. Why, how old are you? I'm guessing, I don't know if I ever asked you that, but 60 isn't always easy to have for a game. I'll probably just be playing New Leaf. You gotta get Animal Crossing. Gotta do it. Yeah, maybe, I mean, I don't know what kind of stores you have around you. Because if you have like a mom and pop type shop, you could definitely get it for a deal. But like if you're going through like GameStop, I mean, $55 is the shittiest used price. I actually was trying to make some money the other day by going to GameStop, buying both of the Assassin's Creed collections that are on the Switch, and then returning them to Target, because Target had both of them for $40, and basically GameStop had Assassin's Creed 3 remastered for $15, and then the Rogue and Black Flag for $25, so I would have spent $40 and gotten back $80, because hey, there's nothing illegal about doing that and buying a game and returning it to somewhere else that has it marked up for cheaper. $22, that's a great age to be. Aw, crap. Well, I guess I gotta resort to eating this food now. At least some of it. Oh, banana. Damn, usually this goes so much smoother, but not this time. I need to get my bearings straight. Take that. So yeah, as that story was going, I was at GameStop, and they have the thing on the shelf with the clearance markdown tag. And even though the cases on the wall are opened and brand new, it still says new. Now, I hate that GameStop takes new games that aren't selling and then opens them and tries to sell them as used. I mean, sure, it's good if that's what you're looking for, but chances are it's going to be open. So the guy he goes, okay, you want both of them? He looks them up because he wasn't exactly totally sure. I told him I wanted both of the ones that were on the Switch, because again, I wasn't really trying to play them. I would play them, and like 15 and 25 for each of those isn't too bad, but I was actually just trying to make a few bucks. Like I said, there's nothing illegal about buying a game that's cheaper somewhere and returning it elsewhere, or other products. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It's like putting money up front and basically taking advantage of the corporate system. So, like I said, it's not illegal. It's not really, maybe you could say it's a little bit immoral, but whatever. I was just doing my thing, but the guy said, oh, yeah, they're open, so, you know, just know that. And I was like, well, the tag over there on them says that it's new. And he says, well, they are, but, you know, like, we got the cases But these ones here, they pretty much, they are brand new, and they're selling for super cheap. So they're not selling for new, but they're being advertised as new. But then you buy it, and the frickin' thing is open. So at that point, that foiled my plan. Maybe it was a sign that, hey, not such a good plan. But hey, whatever. And the guy was like, oh, okay, so you don't want them? He was like, he goes, oh, you want it brand new so you can open it? And I was like, yeah, like when I buy a game new, like I said, your tag says new on it. And he was like, I'm exactly like that too. There was only one time where I kind of said screw it, and that was when Ys 8 came out. And basically, after this woman stopped working there, I actually liked my local GameStop, but for the longest time, I couldn't stand it. Let's see, is my stream lagging out? We're still live. Right? Hopefully. Yeah. We are live. We are live. Right? Don't screw me over, YouTube. So, as I was saying, the only time that I ever bought a gutted game was Ys 8, because they told me, at least the woman told me, and I was kind of pissed, was that nobody pre-ordered Ys 8 on the Switch when it first came out. Nobody really wanted anything to do with it. GameStop only ordered one copy, and to basically sell a copy, they had to put it on their shelf to show that they have it, to get someone's interest. So they opened the copy, they took the special cards out. Luckily they didn't open those, they put them in the drawer. But I got the case with the sticker on it, and I was like, it says new. I want the game new, not opened. And she's like, no, really, it's brand new. Like, I promise you, I literally just opened the game like an hour ago. So it is brand new. Like, nobody has even put it into the system yet. But I'm like, so how come you're not giving me the $5 off as used? And she's like, well, it is new, but it's the only copy we had, so we had to gut it so that we could put the case on the shelf. But it's like, if you're gonna do that, you guys always are printing out terrible artwork for other games off of the printer and putting the generic box and then selling people that. I mean, I've even had cases where, you know, I bought Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii like last year, and it came in the generic white and blue that just says Xenoblade Chronicles X on it. So what I did a couple weeks ago was bought another copy for the same price, because I saw the case and it came with the book. It came with the booklet and the actual art for the game, and the case was in great condition. So I went ahead and bought that, and then I just swapped the cases out, and then I returned the game, and I was like, I already actually have this game, just to get the booklet and the case. And I've almost done that for like other games, but sometimes it's just too much of a hassle. But if you're ever trying to get, you know, a legit case for it, because they just take anything and they don't even test it. They were trying to sell a Switch with Mario Kart 8 to this probably mid-30s couple that really didn't know anything about the Switch. They were just trying to buy the system to play together. And they're like, okay, so with these two controllers here that are on this, we can both play the game together. And the girl's like, yeah, you'll definitely probably at some point want like a Pro controller, or, you know, we have like these third-party controllers over there. I would kind of advise against buying them because they are wired. You're going to want wireless. The Joy-Cons are expensive. However, being GameStop, we do sell used Joy-Cons, although we don't test them. So sometimes, you know, they might not work, or they might go dead after a while. You know, we don't really have a good way to test them. And it's like, really every GameStop they should have, instead of having their display model that kind of just sits on the wall. I mean, I've already seen their Switch Lite that was brand new 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and the thing is already like caked in crud. The sticks that are supposed to be white, they're like black. Like it's almost like somebody had come straight from a garage with oil hands and just like rubbed them on the white sticks and basically ruined the thing. But you would think instead they would take their display model, and whenever somebody comes in with a pair of Joy-Cons to trade them in, they would just real quickly snap them on the system, go to the system settings menu for the controllers and just test that all the buttons work and make sure that the thing is like holding a charge, that the system is actually reading it. But they don't do that. But they'll sell them to you, and then you can of course come back with them. So see, that's pretty cool. My only game store is a GameStop, and it's kind of sad because before that we had, years ago, we had a Babbage's and an electronic boutique. And GameStop took over the EB, of course. The Babbage's went out way, way before that, many years before that. And then we had the one that was in the mall, the GameStop in the mall, and then we had one that was up the street, literally about a 1.5 minute, 2 minute drive up in this other like mini mall plaza, and that has been the one that has stood the test of time. The other one went out, and then when that went out, some people actually opened the store, and it was a retro store, and that was the first time I had been into a store that had like brand new N64 games, new controllers, like PlayStation 1 controllers in the box, like brand new memory cards, Dreamcast stuff, all sorts of different stuff, a whole wall of NES. They had like a whole case full of Super Nintendo and Genesis stuff, and it was great. But that was probably only around for a year, and that was really before I had been like re-interested in buying a bunch of retro stuff. Like I would go in there every now and then, and I did buy like some PlayStation 1 games. I bought like a Sega Genesis cartridge or two here and there. I had rebought, I think, the AV wires for my Dreamcast, because all I had at that point was like the RF box. And so that went out, and now all I have locally is GameStop. And that's kind of a bummer. I mean, recently they still have it. They had, I don't know where they got them from, but they have Mario Kart Double Dash, which the case to it is locked up. And I've thought about asking to see the state of the game, but I can almost tell just by looking at the case that the game is going to be scratched to shit. They have the Twilight Princess on GameCube, which, see, why am I catching on fire? I'm not even that close to the explosion. So they have the Twilight Princess, that's $60. The Mario Kart is $50. They also have God Hand on PS2. That they want $60 for that. They had a regular Punch-Out, not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which I believe the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is much more rare because they stopped making it. And they wanted like $25 for that, and the cartridge is, or no, $29.99. It's either $24.99 or $29.99. And then the cartridge is like, it had like old stickers on it. There's all sorts of crud on it. I mean, it almost can't be restored to like a decent state without probably ripping the label. The label is all like someone else had picked at it before. It's not in good shape. But then they also got like a bunch of original DS games in the cases, which they don't ever have the cases for DS games, as I'm sure you've seen the videos. They just kind of take them and throw them out, along with the artwork. So that's kind of like, what the hell? You buy a DS cartridge and all you get is the cartridge. That kind of sucks. A lot of people don't really care though. And then when it comes to their Wii and Wii U games, at one point they had this giant wall of Wii games. That's since gone way down, and all they have are garbage Wii games. I mean, they have like Mario Galaxy 2, which they want like $25 for. They also got Metroid, which was the NES Classic one that came out alongside with the NES-looking Game Boy Advance SP. So they had that cartridge there for like $11.99. I thought about buying it, and I kind of just said screw it, 'cause I don't even have a Game Boy Advance. Hopefully I can get one at some point. And what else did they have? They had another Game Boy Advance game, I think it was. But that's like literally it for like retro games. There's like 6 of them, 5 of them. And they don't... The Twilight Princess is still there, the Mario Kart's still there, the God Hand is still there. And those will be there for a while because they want 50 and 60 bucks for them. And I guarantee the game is probably close to unplayable. Like, I would bet money on it that 2 out of those 3 games, you probably can't play it to the end because it just wouldn't work. So there is another retro store that I believe still exists, and that's like a good 40-minute drive, like up in Vermont, going into this like small town. And I've been meaning to go and check that out just to see what they have, because I went there probably 13 years ago, like right after high school, and I haven't been up there since. And I remember them having like PlayStation 1 and like N64 stuff, and I believe they're still open, so maybe at some point I'll have to go and take a ride there and see what they have, bring some trade bait, and see just what they got going on there, because I might be able to get some good stuff, along with bringing some stuff that I don't really use or have interest in anymore, and trying to trade up and see what I could get. Because that game, or that store is called, no, come on now. I got the wheel spinning on my phone. Yeah, see, you had more comments pop up and they had just disappeared. A little smudge on the, you're talking about the GameCube game, because you're probably right on that. So, I mean, I was interested in buying like a bunch of GameCube games. I still kind of am, but really what I want to buy is that GC loader, because now you can just take the whole optical drive out and plug this thing straight in, and then just use the SD card. But those things are going to be on back order for like a long time, and unless you can maybe find one on eBay, but that's not going to be, I think they want 110 bucks or 90 bucks or whatever it is, but if you're going to be paying eBay, that's of course going to be marked up. And now with components and all this industrial stuff shutting down, I mean, stuff is starting to go like really south really fast. It's going to affect gaming a lot. It's going to affect a lot of different stuff like that. So, I kind of was just playing GameCube games on my PC through Dolphin, which actually, I remember using Dolphin way back in the day, and it just wasn't as good of an experience, but now they got that thing running pretty smooth to where, like, I don't have like a super great PC, it's just a pre-built like HP, and I thought about building a PC at one point just to make doing videos, having them churn out easier, because that's one of the biggest problems is like the amount of time it takes to do a video, and if the video is anywhere past like 10 minutes long, it takes like a good probably half hour to render, but if I had like a decent PC, it would be done in like probably like 3 minutes, maybe something like that. That's how some of these people get their videos out so quick. They have a decent PC and it just turns right out, no problem. But maybe someday. But aside from that, playing on Dolphin with even a mid-tier PC, it's actually pretty good. I can get it running 60 frames, and I mean, if you have a better PC, you can get it in like 4K and more stable. But it's not going to be stable all the time just because of the developers of Dolphin. They don't have every little bug worked out, so it's not completely smooth as it would be on a GameCube, but it would only be super smooth on a GameCube if you had like an HD GameCube. So at that point, I've just been playing stuff on that. Oh, what do you mean? Wii U disc, because the technical disc era, they're really sensitive. See, every Wii U disc, even the ones that I get from GameStop, I bought every Wii U game that I have, which consists of, let's see, I got Mario 3D World, I got Zombie U, I got Yoshi's Woolly World, I got Mario Maker, Nintendo Land, I got the Wind Waker HD, I got Xenoblade Chronicles X, I got Donkey Kong, and I have several more. And all those discs, even when they had fingerprints and little marks on them, like, they would just buff right out with like a t-shirt. So those discs are great. I mean, they're much like Blu-rays where you like really gotta try to scratch them to scratch them, versus like Wii games or PS2 or PS1. I mean, you see those things destroyed. Almost any game you find secondhand, they're pretty much ruined. But I take great care of all my games and all my CDs. I have CDs that are 20 years old that are only scratched. Like the last car I had, that thing put a lot of scratches on a lot of CDs. But for the most part, like all my discs, all my PS1 games, I have ones that look like they've never even been touched before. And they don't have scratches on them, they don't have any problems with them. And then of course I had a bunch of 360 games that got destroyed when my kid was like 3 and he started playing different Xbox games. He kind of ruined my, he ruined like Forza and like my original Ultimate Alliance. So those were games that I have since rebought for the old Xbox 360. And at one point he wanted to try out like my GameCube and my PlayStation 1. I was like, no way, you're playing that Xbox 360. That's what you're getting, because you can't destroy my GameCube games. So even then, I've been playing the Dolphin games. Shit. See, that was the same exact thing that happened last time, except that it killed me. So I don't want to eat all my meat here. Retro version. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Pico 8. Someone took it and ported it to GBA. Really? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I imagine the buffing discs. I mean, are you talking like straight buffing or like the resurfacers? Because I think some people aren't exactly sure, and I know both types of things exist. And I'm sure some people have brought like Blu-rays saying like, hey, can you clean this up a little bit? And then they probably use the resurfacer, which you can set different thicknesses on it. And I'm sure you can grind the surface right off of it, and then it's not going to read after that, because especially like Blu-rays, those things aren't meant to get damaged, so they're not really meant to probably be resurfaced. I imagine they're layer an amount that you can actually grind off of them to try to resurface them is probably pretty small. That's cool. I'll have to look into that Pico 8. At one point, I played quite a bit of that in Celeste, and I thought, like, hey, this is pretty cool if it was on like Nintendo, if someone put it on like a NES cart, that would be pretty sweet. So when you got it, does it come, I mean, I'm guessing you probably got it maybe off of like eBay or Etsy or something like that. Did it come with like a booklet or a case or like a sticker on it, or is it just like a plain cart? You said you got it for your 3DS, so how does it show up? And I'm guessing that's pretty cool to have. It's probably not something I would play a lot of, but it would just be cool to kind of have that. Yeah, because they also have buffing wheels that are pretty much the same thing. Like there was this old game store that I wish still existed. They were right down the street from where I live now. Like I've since moved to right up the street from where they were at, and they had basically both. It was a buffer resurfacer, so if your game was like next to destroyed, they would take it and they would clean it up for you, or they would try to grind some of the surface off, and it would work for most games. Like some people do that as just a service you can like send your games to them. But most games are probably beyond repair. Then there's the old internet tricks, which I have tried for CDs. I've tried for just different things, different games, like a Dreamcast game that I got from someone that was next to unplayable. Using mayonnaise, deodorant, ketchup, toothpaste, mustard, whatever else people suggested. Yeah, so it's a ROM cart, or you just put it on like a EverDrive type of cart. Because it'd be cool to buy like a Celeste Pico 8. Even just a cartridge with like a homemade label that somebody made. If it looked decent and it actually looked like a real cartridge, that'd be just kind of something cool to own. I might have to look into that. That might actually already exist. I mean, a lot of everything kind of already does exist out there. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that, because I bought that that 208 in 1 multi-cart for the DS, and it's an EverDrive, and it comes with the folder set up. And I saw someone else do it where they put on like 3 or 4 different ROMs, and only one of them worked. And I know there's like different file extensions to those, so I gotta figure out which ones work, because if that's the case, it comes with a giant SD card. I'm gonna rip everything off the SD card, use a more reliable one that's not like a cheap Chinese ripoff, and I mean it can do Genesis and like Neo Geo and Game Boy Advance. Like it pretty much just does everything. So that'd be cool to just have a decent retro library for my DS. Absolutely. I mean, I really wonder if at some point they make like a... I mean, they probably will. Like, another 2 or 3 years from now, making like a 2DS, 3DS XL sized Switch that's kind of smaller than the Switch Lite even. But maybe going back with that 3DS style thumbstick, and then just as long as it was a clamshell case, which doesn't really make sense for the Switch, but in terms of just putting it in your pocket and having it be the size of your cell phone, I mean, people kind of already complain about the Switch as it is. They make it out like a 18-wheeler, like a Mack truck, just to move the thing. And then they talk about its portability, and they're like, well, you know, I mean, you got the Joy-Cons, and you got like the main unit, and you know, it's a whole thing. And it's like, it's really not that bad. I mean, if you have a backpack, you know, even if you're just holding the thing in your hands, it depends like where you're going and what you got with you. But it's not really, it's not like too crazy of a hassle to maneuver around. But it's definitely not the most portable console of all time. That's definitely for sure. Oh, shit. This is not going good. I can't afford to die here. Took way too long. Way too long. Let's see, did the chat freeze up on me again? I mean, 3DS is still great. I think it's kind of funny because people just were sick of it, but people get sick of everything. People got sick of the Wii, even like the Super Nintendo. Like the 64 comes out and people are just like, oh yeah, the Nintendo 64. And though I never had a Wii U, this was the time where I actually, after the Switch came out, that was pretty much the time to get one, because in 10, 15 years, like, you're not gonna as readily for the price be able to find a Wii U. Like, you're gonna laugh at the days where you could find one for $100. And especially with the tablet. I mean, you need the tablet. So with it being a two-part system, finding one that's in good shape, especially when it comes to like all the eBayers who have bought the system and then kind of split them up, or who maybe just bought the tablet off of somebody to use or to sell and then sold just the tablet itself for $120. Like, that's the valuable part, because you need the thing for it to work. So in about 5 years is when people are gonna start with the 3DS nostalgia, in terms of it being like a monster of a mod device, putting ROMs and homebrew on it, putting all sorts of classic games on it, and using it for that. And the renaissance of it will begin, and the recollectability of all the different systems that they put out, that'll take over, and the prices will just go up, as it always happens with every single system. It doesn't matter what system it is. It's gonna end up costing an arm and a leg. Like right now, you go and look for the Majora's Mask 3DS, and people are getting like $250 for that thing, almost $300. I think some of them are selling for like $270, $280. So that's a lot for an out-of-date system where you're pretty much just paying for the shell. I mean, some of them are like boxed, so I guess there is that. You're getting the box with it. Like, I was looking up N64s, and those have gone up quite a bit in price. You used to be able to just get an N64 with the controllers for maybe like $40, but now $40 is the price pretty much for the Japanese console. Like, all Japanese 64s are super cheap. You can get them boxed for like $70, or for maybe like $1.20 or $30. You can get like a Japanese GameCube with like 2 controllers. You get the Game Boy player and the disc. And then when it comes to like American or European, American especially, I mean, for just the GameCube, you're seeing like $40, $50 for ones that don't work. To not die here. Yeah, I bet. I've never really played PS Vita. Like, I always thought it would be cool to own a PSP. When those came out and it was hacked, that was like one of the first truly hacked things I saw. There was like a friend of a friend, he knew how to do it, and he had like the full internet on it. You know, he was showing me like all sorts of different old school games and stuff, and I was like, man, that's pretty cool. Because at that point, bare emulation was like on a computer. You could play like NES stuff and Super Nintendo, but you weren't playing like super taxing type games. Like, you weren't even getting past like the 6th generation. You weren't playing. Oh god, that was so stupid. Damn it. Well, that's that. That's that for that. That is the end of this stream. Rightfully so. I'm shutting it down, folks. So I'm turning all the lights out and I'm going to bed. So, thank you, Zelda N64 fan, for joining me for this whole stream. Much appreciated. I might be back tomorrow. I might not. I might have some videos coming out. I might not. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. But whatever does go on, I'm sure you'll see it. So, thanks, man, for always hanging out. I'll be in touch with you. You got Twitter? Hit me up on Twitter. Come follow me on Twitter. My Twitter following is not very good, so I've been trying to spread that a little bit. Doesn't really work, though. I've been posting some cool stuff on there, like stuff that I've just been going through. I got some pretty cool retro stuff. I need to go to my mom's house and get my, I have a Virtual Boy in box that is just sitting in an attic right now. And I want to get that thing and do like a little video on that. I think that would be pretty sweet to show off, to have in the background. I mean, the box is kind of beat up, but I still have like, most people would just have the box. I actually have it's like an egg carton type ground up and like reproduced material that the whole system and everything fits in. I still have all that. I want to say that I have all the baggies for it. So you're right. It is about that time. I still have my boxed Power Rangers Megazord from back in the day. So that's something I want to get. So what's your tag? Hit me up on Twitter. Come follow me there. I'll follow you. See what kind of you can see what kind of stupidity I'm posting. If you're posting any type of stupidity, you can follow me there. Here, I'll put it right here. I think that's it. Yeah, that takes me to it. So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and add me, I'll be in touch with you. Got Animal Crossing coming out. I'm telling you, you're gonna want to be getting that game. Maybe I can help you out a little bit. Either way, I'll be in touch with you, and I'll talk to you later, dude. So, this is D-Dub, signing out. Have an excellent night. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time on another stream or on another video. Hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, look for the Twitter down below.